I just want to be clear in terms of the definition of people dying of COVID. So the case definition is very simplistic. It means at the time of death, it was a COVID positive diagnosis. So that means that if you were in hospice and had already been given, a few weeks to live, and then you also were found to have COVID, that would be counted as a COVID death. It means that if technically, even if you died of a clear alternate cause, but you had COVID at the same time, it's still listed as a COVID death. So everyone who's listed as a COVID death doesn't mean that that was the cause of the death, but they had COVID at the time of death. I hope that's helpful.
What the hell did you just say?
Hey, hold on. I said, hold up, wait a minute.
There are other countries that if you had a pre-existing condition, and let's say the virus caused you to go to the ICU and then have a heart or kidney problem, some countries are recording that as a heart issue or a kidney issue and not a COVID-19 death. Right now, we're still recording it, and the great thing about having forms that come in and a form that has the ability to mark it as COVID-19 infection, the intent is right now that if someone dies with COVID-19, we are counting that.
Say that again.
If someone dies with COVID-19, we are counting that. If someone dies with COVID-19, we are counting that.
I'm counting on you.
Are they overworking you inside there, man?
I work down at work a bit.
It's bad?
It's not as bad as you think.
It's not as bad as I think?
Yeah. It's great, but don't want to say one way or another tonight.
But I see on TV that, it's chaos.
Everything you see on TV, someone did.
I'm going to switch it off. Because I come here and everything is normal.
I run the trauma center down at Kings County. That's what we're saying. Everybody who dies has coronavirus on their death certificate. Everybody who ends up having anything to do with this coronavirus on their death certificate. And we're bringing in a bunch of people from out of town. We get doctors coming in from Nebraska who don't know what the hell they're doing. A lot of people die because of it. I don't know if it's coronavirus or if it's just a breakdown of the health system and we finally scared ourselves shitless. It's very bizarre and I don't want to comment on it.
Man, keep yourself safe. You sound like you have a good head.
Because they're lying about the testing. It's bullshit. They can't test everybody. Fuck, they can't. And this is in the States right now, they're just writing it off. It's like, possible COVID-19, let's get some tax money. Meth head. Fucking COVID-19. That's what they wrote down under shit. It's fucking comical. Everybody, like COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19. They ain't testing shit. They ain't testing shit. These are people that are gonna die anyway. It's good, it's perfect. It's a perfect fucking scam.
I started getting all sorts of similar stories coming in from around the world. Here's one here. "69-year-old retired Milwaukee police lieutenant died from COVID-19. So this is put out on some social media platform by, it was obviously some public online publication, but here, this is his son or daughter comes on and comments, "My papa never died from this virus, and the media and the lying ass government is fraud. He had health issues before this even happened. They did not confirm with our family that he had this shit, and the media want clout of his name, off his name. This is going too far. Coronavirus count your effing days." And just More here. My best friend's stepdad died on a ventilator in a hospital in Scottsdale on Friday, and they put coronavirus on cause of death on the death certificate because he had viral pneumonia. The tricky part is that the COVID test is still pending, and they will finally get results today. Crazy. Just crazy. Another one here. I must say I am hugely disappointed at your lack of facts. This is from a radio station in San Antonio, Texas. My grandmother did not pass away at San Antonio Military Medical Center. She passed away at a local inpatient hospital facility. She did not pass away from COVID-19. She passed away from Alzheimer's that she had suffered from for the last 12 years, and a case of aspirational pneumonia that worsened for her ailing state. Shame on you, KSAT. Just shameful, 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 shameful. Just more, just goes on and on. Pasco man surprised to see Florida announce his coronavirus death. The reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Gino Della Sala equipped after Florida officials said he died from coronavirus. So just reports coming in from all around the world, people. Just figures, death certs being falsified, left, right and centre. Just absolutely crazy. New York, 20-year army nurse at a hospital, 4 years, had 3 deaths the week due to bronchitis and pneumonia. Next morning came in and saw a death certificate changed to coronavirus. Just insane.
I just told you the fake news about the kid in Louisiana. There was a baby that was born 22 weeks early because the mother had tested positive for COVID-19, went into distress, forced to go into labor, and the baby died. And the headlines were "Baby dies of coronavirus." Now, did you guys see earlier last week or late last week there was a story out of Connecticut where the governor came out, tweeted, and said a child, an infant, died in Connecticut of coronavirus. And then the parents came out and said, no, my child did not die of coronavirus. My child had an accident at home and died from that. It is just crazy. And oh, by the way, don't you think it's really interesting if you look at the stats of how not right now all the COVID-19 coronavirus deaths are rising? Guess what's dropping massively? Deaths from pneumonia, deaths from the flu, and deaths from heart disease and heart attacks. Don't you think it's a bit ironic? What, are people not dying from heart attacks anymore? Are people not dying from pneumonia? Are they not dying from the flu? Nope. Apparently COVID-19 and coronavirus fixed that. So now every person that dies now, for the most part, is getting labeled toe tag with COVID-19 coronavirus. Think about that, people. Because in our country, it is illegal to make claims about curing anything unless it's a drug. Did you know that? It's against the law. It is against the law. If you come to my office and we give you vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and IV therapy, and we give you good foods, and we get your diet right, and we get you healthy neurologically, and your cancer goes away, and if we claim that we cured your cancer, Dr. E's going to jail. Dr. E's practice is shutting down. But if we do all this work and your symptoms and sickness goes away, guess what? That's not our problem. That's the world you're living in. But most of you don't know that because we're stuck with our heads either in the ground or up our rectum. It's time to pull your cranium out of your rectum and wake up and go, what the hell's really going on right now? Because there's a lot of crazy shit happening in the world and a lot of fake news. And oh, mark my words, this week is supposed to be the week of hell in our world. It's because of crap like this. So I'm going to encourage every one of you, wherever you're at in the world right now, see behind the curtain. It's like that movie, The Wizard of Oz, when the great and powerful Oz is there, and Dorothy and Toto and the Tin Man are all there, and they're all scared to death because this big fire-breathing man is telling them this is what's going on. And what's really happens, Toto goes and pulls the curtain back, and we see that there's a little old senile man behind the curtain that doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. That's what's happening in our system right now, and you're being lied to, and you're being a sheep, and you're letting it happen. That's your decision if you want to do that. And we're seeing false information put out all the time from newscasts all over the country about hospitals being overrun and about people dying in the streets and about little babies dying just to scare the hell out of you, and it's being shown to be fake news.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.